Get the Friendo Club set up today and get access to over 700 Going In Raw bonus episodes, our monthly Big Blue predictions challenges, and the ability to ask questions at Going In Raw. We also offer the Steven Larson comic book and exclusive Friendo Club t-shirt. Just hit join here at youtube.com/Steven Larson or go to patreon.com/Steven Larson to sign up. Hey, friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
And welcome back to Steven Larson's Pro Wrestling Podcast, ruining pro wrestling podcasting since 2014. On today's episode, we've got the lowdown from Dynamite 300, NXT on the road to the Great American Bash.
Great American Bash.
That's right. We've got a couple matches made for that. And then we got a bunch of news, including what y'all want us to talk about. So we're going to do all of that. First up, we were told that this was going to be John Cena's last year. In fact, I think the countdown is at 15 dates, 15 dates.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll get more of John Cena in 2026. Larson, what's this all about?
So we've seen a lot of speculation in our comments section, videos, whether it be the hot takes thread, about people saying, oh, no, John Cena's not going to be done at the end of this year. He's going to do this. This is all swerve. He's going to wrestle more beyond 2025, so on and so forth. So Cena talked about his retirement tour in a recent episode on This Morning and put to rest any notion that he'd have another match another match after 2025, saying the following. These transcripts come to you from WrestlingNews.co. Quote, I understand the entertainment industry may have set an ambiguous standard about what retirement is. I'm 48 years old, and I made a promise when I started getting success in WWE way back around 2004. I promised the audience when I lost a step, it was time to step away. The industry has allowed me to perform in front of crowds like the crazy crowds in the O2 for 25 years. I just want to do something different. No WWE superstar has ever really retired, so this is for sure the end for me.
So he's saying nobody ever retires, but John Cena is going to retire unless we see him in TNA like DDP in 2004.
That could be.
That's a reference to a different video. It's not even up yet.
Yeah, probably. No, it's not. But anyways, yeah, I mean, he doesn't seem like he's intent on wrestling anymore. But I don't think Shawn Michaels was probably intent on wrestling anymore after he retired the second time. And sure enough, he did.
Yeah, John Cena's already got... this is the thing about that, is that John Cena, what we could see, because John Cena's already got fuck you money. He's already got and I'm sure Shawn Michaels was doing fine, but I think Saudi Arabia was like, hey, all the money you made in your career for 30 years, we can do that in one shot. We'll give you all that in one go. I think that's how much, I think he made just a shit ton of money.
Yeah, it was probably millions of dollars. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so he's like, why not? It'd be fun, and then it wasn't fun for anybody.
Yeah, it looked horrible. Like no one was having a good time in that match.
Including him, yeah. And so John Cena is about to be a major part of the DC universe. James Gunn seems to like him quite a bit. And, he's got this movie coming out with Idris Elba, of course, from Amazon Prime.
Head of State.
Yeah, a lot of people seem like, that looks like a funny movie. Looks like one of them old school movies. And so I feel like Cena not wanting to tarnish his wrestling brand, his wrestling legacy, it will probably stand firmer than all that. Now, I think it might be possible, if anything were to happen, that he would pull a Stone Cold where it's not really a match, you know?
But
it's it's not really a match, but then it kind of is. So, maybe that's a possibility. Or a Rock versus Eric Rowan situation.
Yeah.
Where he shows up and he has an impromptu nothing. I think that's a possibility. Let me ask you this. Do you think that it's possible we'll ever see him open up a WrestleMania the way Rock, Stone Cold, and Hogan did a while back?
I wouldn't be surprised. Just recently he said in an interview that he loves wrestling more than he loves acting. So even though his in-ring career is set to end at the end of this year, I don't think we're never going to see him again.
Yeah.
I think it's a distinct possibility we'll have appearances such as that one. Mm-hmm. They'll, whenever, his 25th anniversary as a wrestler would be in 2027?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
hey, we're going to pop a number. Let's have a 25th anniversary celebration for John Cena.
John Cena versus Miami Alien.
There you go. Yeah, 2027. Yeah.
27. Yeah.
Do you think an alien invasion would be enough to get John Cena back into the ring?
I feel like if he thought it would help humanity, then he would get back into a wrestling ring. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was like, send us your best. And he's like, well, I'm the greatest of all time. Then CM Punk shows up and says, I'm the best of all time, John.
I'm the best on earth, John.
I'm the best on earth, John. And then he comes out in a Punk Life 2 gimmick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Cuts a diss track on Miami Alien. Yeah.
On Miami Alien, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, let's talk about this. Karrion Cross got an update on his contract status. Actually, Fightful Select has that, so we're going to tell you guys what Fightful Select has. So Fightful Select notes that both Karrion Cross and the lovely Scarlett Bordeaux signed 3-year deals back in August of 2022, meaning that both of them are set to become free agents next month. 2022, however you say it. Meaning that both of them are set to become free agents next month if they don't come to an agreement on new deals with the company. Sources indicate to Fightful that the expectation within the company is that both will stay, citing Cross's recent premium live event match and new merch as indications that he could be offered a new deal. Hold on a second. Back up. Back up. R-Truth literally had a John Cena match Saturday night's main event, and then they were like, we're not going to renew his contract.
Yeah, but Karrion has new merch.
So did Truth. He literally debuted it at that show. It was the Cena-esque merch with Truth on it.
And I'll tell you.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe the idea is he was on the next show as well, further attacking Sami Zayn, giving him the fat piece of shit rib tape.
Story. Yeah.
So maybe the fact that he's furthering the story is an indication that he's going to re-sign with the company. Boy, I hope he does. I feel like he just got started, this Karrion Cross.
I know, it does feel like that's the case. It feels like, what he was doing before he got released is completely wiped off the table. Don't even think about that. The helmet, the suspenders.
Oh, yeah.
That's so far gone in the past. And when he came back in 2022, it's just been kind of like a 3-year warm-up now. And now we're finally going.
Yeah, the dude had to literally make his own feature film-length documentary on himself. Rally fan support. Merch sells pretty great, and it's WWE, so it doesn't matter that he's kind of like in the ring, It's like, whatever. They have enough other good wrestlers that they can really carry him to matches that don't absolutely stink. So yeah, I hope he resigns because I don't think AEW is going to take him.
Probably not. TNA would. Nah, I don't know if he'd go back. He wouldn't go back to TNA. Sorry, because he didn't. He had some not so nice things to say about his time there.
Yeah, you're right. Although it is a different.
It's a different regime running
now.
Things now, so maybe that changes.
You would think that, and I think there was. I'm not going to mention this because it was kind of a rumor, but there was somebody who was in the company that's now at a different company.
Yeah.
That apparently there were some issues with.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
So now it's time for us to talk about what you want us to talk about. So what do you want to talk about?
It's my favorite. I want to talk about what they want us to talk about. Larson.
They want us to talk about.
The Friendos, of course. First up, from TK Youngboy, Tony Khan's Youngboy, says the scary Liv stalker situation and the conversation around if wrestlers should have private security with them, like people in Hollywood and most touring performers have. So, yeah, there was like a super stalker guy.
Yeah, he flew from Canada to Orlando. And I was just reading here, when he was going through customs, he told them that he was staying at the Performance Center.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was arrested. Gosh, when was he arrested? Was it so in May, he flew from Canada to Orlando.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, none of this is awful, just awful.
Yeah. I mean, on
May 31st, he approached Liv's house and tried to enter it.
Yeah, that's awful. It sort of brings back the Sonya Deville thing. And yeah, I mean it's awful. It's like, gosh darn.
Yeah, it stinks. It's gosh, read these details. This is terrible.
As far as like wrestlers need to do whatever they feel they need to do to be safe, you know, and you'd like to think that maybe the company making as much money as they do would be able to help out with that a little bit. Whether that's, hey, you know, we're gonna have the wrestlers start traveling, like I don't know how to, you know, what the logistics would be.
Yeah,
But
because it's not like, unless they're going on an overseas tour, it's not like they all travel together, you know.
yeah,
Everybody's travel is, you know, they may pair up and, you know, for driving between shows, but everybody's travel is fairly individual. So it'd be great given how much money they make if there are issues, or to get out ahead of things so they're not issues, that they offer some sort of security to some of their talents,
yeah, yeah, yeah. And again, I don't know what the logistics would be, but you know, you would think that it would be beneficial to WWE to help Matt on that a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, they're you know, as far as from the business perspective, these are investments they're making in these performers, and you want to maybe protect that, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what's next? What else do they want us to talk about?
Next up, we got from JMC, says Britt Baker wants to leave AEW. So that got started, that bit of news, on the bodyslam.net Patreon, saying that Britt was trying to get away out of her deal, but Tony Khan wasn't into that idea. And then Fightful Select and PW Insider both said they hadn't heard anything to that extent.
So Britt also posted up on her Instagram stories something about a water bottle. It's like something from Kobe Simmons. A bottle of water can be $1 at a supermarket, $3 at the gym, $5 at the movies, $6 on a plane. Same water, the only thing that changed its value was the place. So next time you feel your worth is nothing, maybe you're at the wrong place. And then I think it was like Natalia responded or something and said, the dirt sheets are going to pick this up. So, you know, maybe adding a little bit of fuel to that. She hasn't been around ever since I think she looked into the camera and said, nobody cares.
Yeah, Serena Deeb. Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, man. You know, either she'll be gone or she won't. Either she'll leave or she won't. And either Tony Khan will let her out or he won't.
Yeah.
I don't, he can't. Does she want out? I don't know what she wants. She probably makes like twice the money she does there being a dentist, because goddamn dentists make a shit ton of money.
Yeah, dentists make a lot of money.
But if she really likes wrestling and she feels like her prime years are,
kind of,
then I would understand
not fully
that.
utilized. Yeah, then yeah,
I would understand that.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Christian Botter here says Roman and Cody getting cast as Akuma and Guile in the new Street Fighter movie. So the Roman news came out a few weeks back. I think it's new about Cody.
It is pretty new.
Being cast as Guile. What do you think about Cody playing Guile?
Well, I think it's interesting that there's actually a character in Street Fighter lore named Cody and who looks exactly like Cody Rhodes. But Guile is more popular. We all remember Guile. I didn't know that about Cody until I saw it on social media.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Guile.
Yeah.
My question is he going to have
the flat top? Yeah.
The flat top that kind of goes out.
Yeah.
College Dude Drips says Jeff Jarrett saying Hogan had creative control in TNA.
So I have this quote here. I don't know what it's from because I just found it on Reddit. It says Jeff Jarrett, well, Hulk Hogan had creative control in TNA. It was a bunch of bullshit, the manipulation that guy did, Dixie Carter, and she has to take full responsibility. She didn't know what she was signing up for, but the results speak for it all. Yes, he put himself on every show.
I mean, this is...
Here, I'll get a source for you.
If somebody had told me...
It's probably from his podcast.
If somebody had told me that Hulk Hogan had... Like, if somebody had asked me, hey, who do you think had creative control when Hulk Hogan showed up in TNA? I legitimately thought that him and Bischoff just sort of took over. Like, legitimately backstage, too.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was sort of, like, understood.
Yeah.
Wherever Hogan goes, he's going to have creative control.
Yep, that's part of the deal.
I mean, also, I wasn't watching back then, but to look back on that stuff and see how prominent he was, it was like, yeah, it seems to make sense. It's just the Hogan Bischoff show now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Not surprising if that was the case.
The Spectrum here wants us to bring this up. Hiroki Goto has an elbow injury, and Zack Sabre Jr. is once again IWGP World Champion.
Yeah, that happened at their last. Is that Dominion?
So was
Dominion the last one?
Probably. We were just past June. Dominion's June.
So Zack Sabre Jr. got the title back. He lost it to Goto.
He had,
not long ago.
Is the reason he got it back because Goto got an elbow injury?
I read something about this, and my understanding is that the two things weren't necessarily related, but then Goto has to take time off. So
okay, Goto's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I like Zack Sabre Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I don't follow the New Japan anymore. You know, I see clips every once in a while. I see Sonata wearing like a Giant Gonzalez-esque outfit, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is smoking a cigar too. You mentioned
smoking a cigar. I'll send you the picture of that. But yeah, they're not really doing anything that I'm like, oh wow, I got to be watching that. You know, there's too much wrestling these days.
There is a lot.
Can't keep tabs on it all.
No.
You know.
No. But hey, good for Zack Sabre Jr. He's great.
So this is great. Dave Matuszek brings this up. Says Tony Khan revealing that the reason All In was in Texas was because Coldplay had booked a gig at Wembley that very weekend. Apparently they had that booked years in advance. They called dibs.
What, Coldplay did?
Coldplay did.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. Okay, yeah.
On Wembley. You know, hard to compete with Coldplay.
Were there not any other weekends that Coldplay wasn't playing Wembley? They could have had the show there.
Are they doing like a whole stadium tenure at?
Are they doing a residency at Wembley Stadium?
That'd be crazy. You think there's that many Coldplay fans? I mean,
they sold a lot of records.
Well, I mean, the weekend before was the 4th of July. You can't do that.
No.
And then the weekend after, I don't know what's going on.
There's anything going on. Not in the world of wrestling, at least.
I don't know. I'd have to look up the Wembley Stadium calendar.
Wembley Stadium event calendar. Here, I'll do that.
Oh, you're going to do that really quick? All right. I'll power rank my favorite Coldplay songs. Yellow? I'm just going to power rank songs that I know from Coldplay.
There you go.
The Scientist. Oh, The Scientist is my number one. I like that song. That's really good.
So on the 19th, the weekend after, there's boxing at Wembley Stadium.
Oh, wow.
And then the weekend after that, Oasis has 3 shows.
Oh, they're not going to give their spot up.
And then in August, there's concerts. Wait, Coldplay says here August. Oh, it's because they want to do it August 22nd. That's when Coldplay is having their show.
Okay. Well, who's doing it July 12th? Who's got it then?
Nothing booked.
Nothing. They could have done it this weekend in Wembley.
Next weekend.
I mean, sorry, next weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, because Lana Del Rey has shows this weekend.
Okay.
Nothing the following weekend, and then boxing the weekend after that.
Well, that's weird.
Wow, Coldplay's got 4 shows. No, holy shit. They do have a residency.
Really?
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 shows.
What does Wembley fit? Like 50,000?
Oh, like 80.
80? Do you think
they're all? They got for.
Do you think they're all sold out?
All in there. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, from August 22nd to September 8th.
I didn't know it'd be different if Coldplay had some giant elaborate stage if they had to slash 30,000 tickets.
I mean, it could be. That's entirely about 30,000, but maybe.
Well,
10.
that's a lot. I know. Yeah, the configuration might be different, but
then Oasis has 2 more shows in Wembley end of September.
Wow, boy, Coldplay Oasis fans eating good.
Yeah,
my goodness,
live in London
gracious.
at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because Oasis will have 7 shows combined, and then Coldplay 10.
Is that Oasis's kickoff, I wonder? Because I think that wasn't it supposed to be July that they were kicking things off?
Yeah, well, their first show is July 25th.
Okay, all right.
So that could be.
Do you think they're going to make it through their Wembley, their whole Wembley 4-date, 3-date set before they break up again? 5-date set before they break up? I think they'll make 3 shows.
Oh, man. Without any issues or without fully breaking up?
Without fully breaking up.
Do we have to start an Oasis Daily segment on the show to talk about?
Oh, yeah. Oasis. Well, yeah, we'd have to get Rob to do like a like a
Champagne Supernova sounding type.
Right, a Wonderwall sounding thing. Yeah, exactly. It's Oasis Daily.
Can you think of any other Coldplay songs other than Yellow and The
I got
Scientist?
Yellow. I got The Scientist. I actually did. I used to listen to their first 2 albums, I think, back in the day.
Second
They were pretty
album's not
good.
bad.
They were pretty
Yeah,
good.
second album's not bad.
They were
Yeah.
good. Come on. I can think of one more Coldplay song.
Come on.
Hold on a second. Don't.
What about
don't.
Clocks? Remember Clocks?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Praise You? Is that what it's called?
I don't know at that
No,
point.
Praise You is something else. It's something you. Fixed You. That's what it is. Praise You is Fatboy Slim.
Yeah, I don't really know. Oh yeah, I want to praise you like I should.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's
No,
talk
Fixed
about
You
it.
is Coldplay.
Let's talk about AEW. Hey, go get a channel membership. Click on join right here, youtube.com/Stephen Larson, patreon.com/Stephen Larson. Click on the Friendo Club setup. Got the July Predictions Challenge going down next weekend.
Wow.
Big deal. Everything
many
on the
shows.
line, July 12th and 13th, because the Evolution is there. That's a Pearl Jam song. Do the Evolution.
That is a Pearl Jam song, yes.
Anyways, let's talk about AEW. I love this. The main event for Y'all In is now Texas Death.
Yeah.
I love when they just refer to it as Texas Death.
Me
Take
too.
the match out of there. I want Texas Death.
I know. It makes sense. It's interesting last night that they didn't talk about the fact that I believe Hangman's already beat Mox in a Texas Death match.
Oh,
I believe.
has he?
Isn't that feud after Hangman got concussed during that segment with Mox? Did they have a Texas Death match?
Let's see here. Yeah, this looks like Revolution 20-something or another.
So when after Mox is like, oh, you don't have the ingredients to beat me in Texas Death. And then Hangman was leaving. And then, oh, hold on, Mox. Mm-hmm. You don't think I have what it takes? I thought he was going to say, remember when I beat you in a Texas Death match? He didn't do that. He hit Marina with the buckshot.
So, yeah, AEW just uploaded this 5 days ago. Full match, Jon Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page, Texas Death match.
It was really good. It was a really good match.
So they kind of foretold it. Yeah. So that's interesting. This is going to be really good, though. Do you think, does this change your stance on Hangman Adam Page beating Jon Moxley at Y'all In?
Well, let's talk about that because I think we have to talk about something else that happened on Dynamite last night that could play into what happened here. And that was Ospreay and Swerve up in the ante on their own match with the Young Bucks. Of course, last week, 2 weeks ago, they challenged Young Bucks. It was last week to a match at All In where the Young Bucks would put their EVP titles on the line. Matt Jackson says, no, not going to do it. What's in it for us? Mm-hmm. Then Ospreay says, well, if you beat us, neither Swerve or I could challenge for the AEW World title for 1 year. Mm-hmm. Swerve is not happy about that.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can look at each of those matches necessarily in a bubble per se, because I think the tag match has a strong possibility of influencing what happens in the main event. Given that stipulation with the tag match, does that increase the odds the Young Bucks win or lose? And given the outcome of that match, how will that play into the main event?
So if Hangman wins, he'll have a decent chunk of a run until MJF takes that title off him. Because I think MJF will probably be... Because I could see MJF, but here's the thing. Okay, how long do they have between winning the casino gauntlet and then cashing in or like getting their title shot? Usually it's pretty quickly after.
Yeah.
But then I don't know if they're going to do like a Money in the Bank situation with that. I don't know.
Like Christian did. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So, but I do think that MJF is at least one logical choice to dethrone Hangman, assuming Hangman wins. Now, they could do a thing where Hangman dethrones Mox and MJF wins the title pretty soon afterwards. But let's say Hangman wins. It doesn't seem like it would make a lot of sense for Swerve and Ospreay to get that title within a year of that happening. If Mox holds on to it, Ospreay seems like a natural choice to get it, as does Darby if they want to keep on pushing. So, yeah, I don't know. I think the more interesting thing, and it's kind of akin to what we saw, because everybody likes to draw the comparisons to Cody beating Roman with the help of everybody, including Seth Rollins. Well, as we know, Seth Rollins kind of gave up everything to help Cody. Swerve losing in that match and Hangman winning then sort of complicates their relationship, because it's not all buddy-buddy, and now Swerve is frozen out. And Hangman has the thing that Swerve really, really wants and has decided to refocus on. So I think that makes things very interesting, as opposed to just good guys win everything.
Yeah. And going into last night's Dynamite, I thought maybe a way they could work Swerve helping Hangman is because his primary motivation is helping Ospreay. Say at the main event, it's going to be overbooked. Everybody's going to be ringside. Young Bucks got something happens during the tag match, whether afterwards or during, that really pisses off Swerve, even more so as it relates to the Young Bucks. Ospreay's out there helping in the main event. Young Bucks are down there. They got Ospreay in some sort of situation that looks gnarly. Swerve runs down to make the save, and it's one of those things where inadvertently he helps Hangman win.
Sure, yeah.
Regardless of who wins the tag match, I thought that would be a way they could do it, where Swerve could be like, "No, I didn't help you," but he kind of did.
Yeah.
And put Swerve in that situation where he had that moment where he has to make the decision, kind of understanding fully what's about to transpire.
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
See if I can hold on to this thought. Swerve helping Hangman needs to be, and I think this is why I like the stipulation, Swerve helping Hangman needs to be because explicitly Swerve wants that title off of Mox back in AEW. Not for his own personal gain, his own personal benefit, not in the situation you just said where he's helping somebody else and he inadvertently helps Hangman. Swerve needs to help Hangman for the greater good. If you take any world title shot off the board for him, then that sort of forces his decision to be pure.
Yeah.
Needs to be for the greater good. And if you take that, what you just said, if you don't set that up and you make Swerve decide, I have to go do the thing that I don't want to do, and I don't even get a benefit from it because there's no recourse for me to say, hey, Hangman, I helped you, quid pro quo, I get a shot.
Yeah.
That's off the table. And so I kind of like the idea that Swerve and Ospreay lose, and then Swerve has to do the right thing, not the thing that's best for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes his decision like, oh my God, is he going to do? He's down in the dumpsters now because they lost this match and he didn't even want that stipulation to be a part of it.
Yep.
And so I think that makes All In really interesting if Swerve and Ospreay lose. Much more interesting than if they were to win.
Absolutely. And after the match, if they lose, of course, Swerve's going to blame Ospreay for putting him in that situation to begin with.
Yeah.
And then you got to worry, well, our tension is going to be such between the two of them that even, what you said about Swerve choosing to do the right thing, which is helping AEW get that title back. You take the most personal aspect of it, him helping his friend and tag team partner, off the table potentially. Because if they're at odds heading into the main event, you think, well, Swerve ain't even going to help Ospreay at this point.
And then that could potentially set up a feud between Swerve, a proper feud between them for Forbidden Door. And I know Forbidden Door is supposed to be, dude versus dude, but they're in London. And if you want a match that's like got super heat behind it, Swerve versus Ospreay, because of what happens at All In, is that match. And Ospreay wins that in London, and that just sends Swerve over, Swerve does what he does best when he takes a loss. He makes his character even more interesting.
Yep.
I think there's a lot of good stuff to work with there.
Absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see how it all kind of falls into place, because there's a bunch of different routes they could take.
Yeah.
Regardless of the outcome of the main event. So that's going to be interesting to see what kind of shakes out. We had Kenny Omega come back.
Well, let's just do this. Let's just sort of go through the Hangman mock stuff.
Sure.
Because it was very just standard pro wrestling stuff. Hangman comes out, says, let's make this a Texas death match. He says, I'm going to welcome you. Give me everything you got. Give me death and make this a Texas death match. So Mox and Marina come to the ring. Mox says, basically says, you want to put all your chips on the table, your life, your health, your career, all on the line with AEW title and Texas death. He says, you don't want that. You might think you want it, but you don't. He says, you're going to lose on July 12th because you don't want to win. You're happy where you are. He says, you know why you won the Owen? Because it was almost the peak, but it wasn't the peak. And you like the safety of not being on top. You can't handle the pressure. I live with the pressure. He says, people call themselves best wrestler in the world, but that's basic bitch shit. I'm much more than that. He says, I'm the AEW champion. I'm going to show the entire world what a champion looks like. He says, you don't have it in you to take it from me. He says, this is not something you walk away from. So Page slaps the shit out of Mox. Mox takes him down. They trade punches. Page pulls a fork out of his jacket. He's about to stab Mox. Yuta pulls him off. He gets decked. Marina gets in the ring, slaps Page a bunch. He doesn't touch her. Yuta grabs his ankle. Claudio tackles from behind. Mox takes off. Him and Marina both take off. So Claudio hits Page with a neutralizer. Claudio and Yuta both leave. Page gets to his feet and says, is that the best you got? He says, sending your neutered little lapdog Claudio. Bitch, I'm still standing. Claudio gets pissed, walks back to ringside. He's met by Samoa Joe. Yuta comes to his side, but then Hobbs and Shibata come in through the crowd to sort of fend them off. Marina, meanwhile, sneaks in behind Hangman, tries to blast him with the briefcase, but he catches it. Hangman grabs the mic. He says, come on, man, give me what I want. Give me Texas Death. Mox says, if that's what you want it, fine, you got it. So Page hands the briefcase back to Marina. He starts to leave. He goes over to the apron outside the ropes. He says, hold on. He says, in all the excitement, there's something I forgot. Mox, you said that I don't have what it takes for Texas Death, but in case you need a reminder that I do anything that it takes. And then he hits Marina with a buckshot. Mm-hmm. And he glares towards Mox.
Yep. So talking about the Young Bucks Swerve and Ospreay stipulation, the details there. So we had a couple segments. It started with this one where the Young Bucks are outside the arena. They're talking about how Dynamite 300's in their neighborhood, Ontario. They're from Rancho Cucamonga. It's not that far away. So, and Nick has his eyes closed the whole time. And so Matt says, I went on a bit of a shopping spree on the company card. And so Nick opens his eyes as a custom Young Bucks limousine just filled with kicks.
Yeah.
Shoebox upon shoebox stacked inside. So Matt's like, hey, let's take a ride in our limo, go down memory lane. So they do a bit of a tour, Rancho Cucamonga.
Go to their school, go to where they used to have a trampoline to do the backyard wrestling.
Yep. So then the limo pulls up to the arena. They make their entrance for their match where they're teaming against Takeshita, against Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bandito. It was a hell of a match.
Yeah, it was fun stuff.
Gosh darn it, this was really good. The Young Bucks and Takeshita get the win. The Young Bucks and Takeshita hit like a triple EVP trigger on Kyle, and then Takeshita follows with Burning Fire to get the W. That sequence where Takeshita and the Young Bucks hit like a slightly different Meltzer driver on Bandito and follow up with that super kick wheelbarrow suplex combo. Gosh, that was good.
Yeah, it was really neat.
There's so much good stuff in this. So after the match, Swerve and Ospreay hit the ring. They attack the Young Bucks. Young Bucks flee. Swerve gets the mic, says, we asked our question last week, still haven't gotten an answer. We challenge you to a match at All In. We want you to put your EVP titles on the line. This isn't about us becoming EVPs. For one, I don't trust Will with that kind of power. And two, we're putting the EVP titles on someone who it really belongs to, and that's the people. Mm-hmm. There's only one person who runs AEW, and that's Tony Khan. So then Will takes the mic and says, even if the Young Bucks don't want to, wrestle us, what are you? The Young Bucks or the Young? They bleeped it out. So,
you think they said fucks or cucks?
I thought it was the latter. Not sure though.
Yeah.
So Will says, give us an answer. That's when Matt takes the mic and says, you're not the boss of us. We're the boss. You want an answer? Hell no. What do we get out of this? And that's when Will comes up with the idea. Well, he whispers something to Swerve. And Swerve's like, mm-mm. So then he says, yeah, if you beat us, then we can't challenge for the title for a year. And instantly Swerve's like, what the hell you doing, Ospreay? And Matt says, oh, you got a deal, but Will, you got to get Swerve on the same page. Swerve, if this is what you want too, then we'll do this. So Swerve takes the mic and says, yeah, you got a deal. But he's not happy about it at all.
No, he's not. No. They do get the win, though, over the Beast Mortos and Dralistico. Another fun match. Hitting, let's see here. It looks like Will hit Dralistico with a Styles Clash, and then Swerve followed up with a house call.
Yeah. Yeah, another really fun match.
You know that Superman movie's coming out.
I didn't know that until I watched AEW last night.
You had no idea that there was a Superman movie?
No, I hadn't heard anything about it. I hadn't seen anything about it.
Hey, pal, eyes up here. Then he goes, psh. So anyways, they did like a bunch of Superman hype. The big old Superman banners on the LEDs, the barricades. And they did a bit with...
That's good for AEW, you know. Getting the Superman marketing as part of the marketing deal for the new movie. That's good.
Yeah. You know. Better that than the new Slim Jim movie that WWE is always promoting.
Yeah. The plot involves tables and Slim Jim somehow. I'm not sure how that works.
Ladders, I think, also. So there was one bit, it was just, I don't know, Tony Storm was with Rachel Brosnahan, who's wonderful. The first season of Miss Maisel is really good. I didn't see much after that, but
I've seen bits and pieces, but she's super charming.
Yeah, she is. And then they try to come up with a wrestling name for her, and they both corpse at the end. And then Tony comes out to do commentary for Mercedes versus Mina Shirakawa, which is a really fun match. Tony's got a really wonderful steak meal in front of her. She does not touch. She's too focused on the match. Doesn't say a word either. Doesn't even do commentary. She's just paying attention to this match, which, of course, Monet gets a roll-up win here, but it's a really fun match.
That was good.
After the match, Mercedes lays out Mina. Tony rushes to the ring. Monet runs out. She runs back in and blasts Storm in the back of her head with the TBS title, then talks some shit into the camera. So more heat for that match. We have one more go home before that, so I'm assuming, we'll find out at that point. They're probably going to do
video package.
Yeah, because Mercedes got the go home math here. I'm pretty sure Tony's going to win this match. I'd be surprised if she doesn't.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Mercedes won and then they do a rematch and then Tony wins there.
Maybe.
Kenny Omega return at the end of the main event. A really fun match, really good match, actually, between Kota Ibushi and Kazuchika Okada. Okada gets the win here with a Rainmaker. After the match, Rocky Romero comes down. Lance Archer's already ringside with Don Callis. They all get in the ring. They start stomping on Okada. Sorry, Ibushi. That'd be weird if they stomped on Okada. They got an alliance.
Yeah.
Archer's looking for a choke slam on Ibushi when Kenny's music hits, so he runs down with a chair, chases off Okada and Don Callis family. Trent slides in the ring, try to attack Kenny from behind. He's got a baton. Kota takes it from him, and then he and Kenny hit like a combo powerbomb German suplex type deal. And then they hug.
Ibushi looked really good, man.
Yeah.
It was a hell of a match right here.
It was really good.
Hell of a match.
It was really good.
Yeah, pretty awesome to see that. We also have the number one spot. I hate that they call it the number 2 spot.
They should say the number ones.
Yeah. Both number 1 spots. The starting spots. Starting positions.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the
it's silly
casino
to say
gauntlet.
1 and 2 because they're in the same time.
Right. So one guy
Same
makes
thing with
his
the
entrance
Rumble.
first. Yeah, same thing with the Rumble. It's weird.
But I guess there's those extra seconds. Well, no, there's not because the match doesn't start till the bell rings and there's already 2 people in the ring. And say there's those extra seconds between the entrance and the first person, the second. But the match doesn't start till the bell rings. So
the match doesn't start. So it's not like you can be in the ring and then eliminate yourself. That would make sense if you get the number 1 spot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it doesn't start until both people are in there.
Yeah.
So anyways, MJF wins the number 2 spot in the Casino Gauntlet. He took on AR Fox, Anthony Bowens, and Brody King. A lot of fun stuff here. MJF doing all sorts of just goofy-ass heel stuff, going to commentary, letting the other guys fight it out. They did the great thing with Brody King, who's supremely over these days.
Yeah.
Choking out MJF over the apron, which is pretty cool. Anthony Bowens and AR Fox both had a really good showing as well. MJF ends up getting a Salt of the Earth tap-out win on, was it AR Fox?
Yeah.
Hurt Syndicate celebrates in the ring. Mark Briscoe shows up. He's got a new shirt referencing MJF's pickle dick. He says, he said, congratulations, I'll be your number 2. Bad news is that I'm number 1, which means you have ensured yourself an uninterrupted ass whooping. He says, he talks about how MJF called him a blue-collar bitch. He says, the blue-collar comment I wear like a badge of honor, but the bitch comment is what ensures the beatdown. He says, I want MJF to know that I'm always 2 steps ahead. He says, I want your buddy to stay in the back. He says, if you have any nuts next to your tiny pickle, I'll see you next week. So that brings out Jet Speed. They both have rib tape.
Yeah.
They got the DDP rib tape. And they tell Hurt Syndicate to come at them. And then instead, they just get beat the shit out of those guys.
It was reminiscent of when Dolph had that brief feud with Goldberg.
Yeah.
And Goldberg speared him, and Dolph got a mic and says, look, I'm still getting up. I'm not done with you yet. And so Goldberg goes back and spears him again. And it's referencing Dolph was the Holy Grail bit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's just a flesh wound. Yeah.
Yeah. And so this is what pretty much happens here, where the Hurt Syndicate annihilates
Just beats him down. Yeah.
And so Kevin Knight talks some shit. It's like, look, we're getting up. You didn't put us down for good. So Hurt Syndicate gets back at the ring, beats the shit out of them again. And so Kevin Knight says, hey, we're not backing down. All right, back they go. And then after they get the shit beat out of them some more, Kevin Knight grabs a mic and says, we're still alive. You may know how to hurt people, but if you want to keep those titles, you got to learn how to kill us. Shelton, your mama must have taught you how to fight because you hit like a bitch. Challenges him to a match on Collision.
I mean, honestly, at this point, it feels like this match at All In is more like, can you get out of this alive, as opposed to can you win the tag titles?
That's how they're framing it, yeah.
I don't expect... there's no way that the Hurt Syndicate should lose this match.
No, they won't. They won't. This is 2 straight weeks where the Hurt Syndicate has annihilated Jet Speed.
You don't think this is all just go-home math stacking up in favor of Jet Speed?
No, because next week, Jet Speed's going to, catch him sleeping. Not literally, but, taking things lightly. And is going to send him out of the ring, and MVP is going to be like, whoa. Save it for All In.
Okay.
That's my guess. But that was your Dynamite. It was really heavy on the wrestling, but advancing some stories there as well. It's fun show.
I thought it was a really fun show. I'm looking at the spoilers for a Collision here.
No,
I'm not going to say anything
of note.
I mean, I was looking at the Kevin Knight, Shelton Benjamin stuff.
Oh, all right. Oh, yeah, I guess. Well, we have another whole week before All In, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I would guess Shelton. I went to the situation where Shelton beat the shit out of him, and then Kevin Knight, rolls him up out of nowhere.
Well, I'm not going to spoil much, but, and I didn't see, what the exact specifics were, but they're not the only 2 people in the match.
Interesting.
There's, a rando third person thrown into the match, so... I'm going to assume maybe that person took the pin.
How the heck does that work? It was like a one-on-one challenge.
I know. I'm sure they're going to set it up on Collision. But yeah, I don't know. Anyways, and it's nobody related to anything that's going on either.
That's random, man.
Yeah. There was also an NXT on the way to Great American Bash. Is it just me, or is this Great American Bash bit on the lackluster side?
Yeah, the card is a bit on the lackluster side. So you have Obafemi defending the title against Inamura. Inamura is great. Tons of fun.
I like Inamura, but this is the
really
most
wrestler.
NXT television top of the second hour match.
Yeah. It's not like Inamura's there's been a dedicated effort to build him up as a serious main event. Dude, because he's lost a bunch.
Yeah.
He's lost a bunch.
Yeah.
Before beating Jasper Troy in this episode, he hadn't won much.
No. I mean, he pinned Trick.
He did in a tag match.
But he was really determined to come back from Noah and get that NXT title. So
yeah,
he's getting a shot at a.
He is, and it will be a really fun match. I'm sure of it.
Is this a premium live event?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, cool! It's at center stage. That's fun.
It runs opposite of All In.
Oh, that's right.
And earlier in the day.
Oh, that's why they're not loading this up.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because you also have Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe versus Fatal Influence.
Yeah, that was booked.
Which is going to be a good match, but it's kind of like not consequential. And then we got a North American Championship match, Sol Ruka versus Izzy Dame. All confidence points on Sol Ruka. Sol Ruka. Although they are doing some cool stuff with Izzy Dame. She's like seemingly the front person now for the culling.
Yeah.
As Sean Spears stands there like this, not knowing what to do with his hands.
It's like he's cold. When you're cold because you'll cross your arms, but you put your hands outside of your arms to kind of warm them up.
Trying to get some heat.
Yeah. Maybe he's cold.
Maybe he's freezing.
Keep the Performance Center really chilly.
He should start wearing a parka. Like one of them old Raiders parkas.
He should do that. Yeah, the starter parkas. The Raiders one, but he should cut the sleeves off because that's kind of his thing.
Yeah, but then he'd still be cold.
But he does, he put the hood up.
He needs to stop cutting his sleeves off stuff.
No, but that's his thing. Yeah, there's only 3 matches announced so far for Great American Bash. So expect 2 more. I'd be surprised if we don't get Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page again.
Oh yeah, that's gonna happen. And then does Hank and Tank have a problem with the? Don't they have a problem with the culling?
Culling. They think the culling attacked them.
But they have like a match already set up, don't they?
No.
They didn't set that up in this episode?
No, they confronted the culling.
Yeah, and then like there was a big pull apart. There wasn't a match because of that?
With the culling, yeah. If there was a match booked, it was against the culling.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I don't know if it's going to happen, though.
Well, it'll happen. It'll happen. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know.
Or maybe we'll get a triple threat with Luca and Stax and Tony D.
Oh, that's super possible.
Luca declared, I trust and I'm loyal to one person, and that's Luca Crucifino.
So is Luca now his own consigliere?
Is that possible?
So who's your consigliere? Me.
Who's the Don?
No,
me.
It's your representative. Who's your representative? Me.
It's the person that gives you advice.
Yeah. Well, I give myself advice.
What?
Who better to give advice than me to me? Anyways, so the main event segment was Jordan Grace talking, and there was some asshole in the crowd whatting her. So that's always great.
Stop whatting people at wrestling shows. All right,
and it's so awkward. There's only like 200 people in that venue.
I know, and one jerk is like screaming what?
Oh, I hate it.
Gosh, it's obnoxious. Stop
Next
doing
time,
it.
if you're in that, listen, this is what I'm going to advocate for. If you're sitting in there, and I bear no responsibility for if this happens, but if you're sitting there at the Performance Center and somebody, I don't care who it is, somebody's in the ring talking, good guy, bad guy, whatever, and the dude next to you is saying what, just slap him in the mouth. Like a backhand.
So you're advising people to do that, but then saying you're not responsible for what happens.
I'm the consigliere for everybody in the Performance Center.
So you got to frame it differently then.
Okay.
Instead of saying this is what you do,
yeah,
offer it as a suggestion.
Here's my advice. Backhand the guy that's saying what to people. Anyways, so she gets in the ring at the end, says, last week I was reminded that I thrive under pressure. Now I'm going to walk into Evolution, and this time I'm part of it. She said, I'm going to make history alongside the best women's wrestlers in the world, but for the sake of honesty, I have to be vulnerable for a moment. And some guy said, what? That's so rude.
It is rude.
So I've been asking myself, I'm good enough to be in NXT. What? Do I really belong in WWE? What? I didn't grow up saying I was born to be a WWE superstar, but I did everything I had to get there. In Evolution, I'm going to beat JC and remind myself who I am. And then she's interrupted, of course, by Fatal Influence. JC, it's funny because JC keeps on saying, like, at first she was just the most beatable NXT women's champion. And now somehow it's evolved to, they say I'm the most beatable champion in history.
Well, no, that's what Lainey Reed said when they had that segment where everybody's coming.
Did she say in history?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's rough. I mean, it's just one person who has never been on television said that. And then she's like really taking it to heart.
I mean, that might make it sting even more.
Yeah. It's like that one comment in our comments that just gets under my skin, you know.
Someone repeatedly is in our comments, saying like rude stuff about us, whatever.
Yeah, right.
Somebody from the very first time comes in and then says something, it could be all the more biting because of it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Like there's one dude I know. I have banned him so many times from all of our channels, and he keeps on coming back. And I'm like, I thought I banned you because he just always says out of pocket shit. I should have banned the person who said I look like Diddy Kong. Have you seen the latest thing though? The Diddy Kong thing makes me laugh because I was like, wait, which one's Diddy Kong? I looked him up and I'm like, oh shit, I do look like him. But then there's have you heard of Man Tracker?
No.
There's a whole discussion going on over on my side of things.
Yeah.
That Larson looks like Man Tracker.
I don't even know. What is that?
It's a Canadian show. Just Google Man Tracker.
I don't look anything like this.
The fucked up thing is that there's like, so if you do Man Tracker on Google, like the image search, there's like on the fourth one over, there's like a picture of a dude who's got like a gray
Looks
beard like
Treat
you.
Williams.
Yeah, right. And he looks pretty good there. And I'm like, oh, that's a pretty good picture. But then the one directly to the left of it, he looks like 15 years older.
Yeah, what's the deal with that?
And over at my Wrestle Juice subreddit, somebody
Is that supposed
posted
to be the same person?
I think so.
This
Somebody-
says Terry Grant is the one right next to it. But is Treat Williams even in the show?
So I don't think Treat Williams has anything to do with this show. But like somebody posted up a picture of that old guy next to you, and they were like, "Oh, I think this guy's onto something." Hey, don't you can't feel too bad. At least you're being compared to a human. I'm being compared to an ape.
Well, I mean, how many times you've been like, oh, you look like John Cena, you look like James Hetfield, you look like Mark Wahlberg.
They're cool dudes.
Well, I mean, I could see the resemblance at least.
Well, I can see the resemblance to Diddy Kong.
All right, I see like people for the longest time. Oh, you look like Billy Mays. What? Because I have a beard? Is that why?
Remember the picture of the baby with the beard?
If I had $1 for every time someone said that picture, say, "Hey, Larson, have you seen this?" I'd probably have $1,000. You have to poop yourself?
No, I'm hurting. I got a cramp because I'm laughing so much.
I'd probably have $1,000. I'd just see that picture 1,000 times. People make the same joke 1,000 times.
Oh, it was before we were doing wrestling, though. We didn't really have an identity at the time.
No, it wasn't. It carried on. This is for years.
It was like our AEW 2022. We didn't have much of an identity then.
It was for years. I got that.
This old guy looks like he's got a cold, too. His nose looks like it's like really...
Yeah, it looks like it's runny, yeah. I mean, I guess maybe if you're out there tracking people in the wilderness.
Men, like specifically men.
And, it's cold out there. Your nose runs. I get it.
Man Tracker, the chase is on. I'm assuming this is like he's like a bounty hunter type situation.
Is it specifically that older fella?
Yeah, I think that's the guy.
I don't look anything like him.
But then there's like several people, and I don't know if it's like the same guy, but they all have the same vibe. But they all look like different people.
Yeah.
Oh, here's this one. Game Hunter takes aim at Man Tracker.
Oh my gosh. Are those competing shows? In one, they track people. The other, they hunt animals.
So it says the relationship between a U.S. trophy hunter and TV's new Man Tracker. New Man Tracker.
Is there what?
Has there been multiple men trackers? Oh, bro, I don't know.
I'm lost.
Yeah, I'm lost.
All right, what's the cast of this? Hold on. Well, this show was on from 2006 to 2012.
That's only 6 years. How many Man Trackers were there?
More than a decade ago.
Maybe there's a reboot, and that's why the dudes look super old now, not like Treat Williams anymore.
Terry Grant.
New.
Oh, wow. Terry Grant was in Monty Python's Meaning of Life.
Really?
Yeah.
Same guy?
He's got exactly two. What the heck? On IMDb, he's got 2 acting credits. Neither of them are Man Tracker.
So there's the original Man Tracker. Maybe there's a new one. I don't know. I feel like I've derailed this conversation way too much, and I apologize for that.
But if people are posting a picture of the Terry Grant person saying that I look like him, it wouldn't be referencing a new one, would it?
Yeah, no, the picture they're referencing is like like not the good looking guy. It's like the older guy who looks like he's got a busted nose.
Who is the person that looks like almost exactly like Treat Williams in the show?
I don't know. That might be the original or the new. I don't know. It's all very confusing to me.
What year is this? 2025.
So, anyways, the match is made. JC,
there's no new man tracker. Well, I could tell. Oh wait, on Apple TV. All right, there is a new man tracker. What the heck?
Yeah, okay.
That's got the Treat Williams looking dude.
Okay, yeah. I don't think it's that guy. I think it's the old guy that people are saying.
No, wait, this is the original from 2005. A reality show. I'm so lost.
Yeah, we'll have to do some more research on that.
Are there two man tracker shows, but one's fictional and one's reality show?
Is that what you're getting from that?
Yeah. No, because this one has... I'm so confused. This one has Terry Grant in it, too. But it says Reality 2005 on Apple TV.
Reality, Wilderness Survival. Okay, season 1, and then seasons 2 through 7.
And the other ones look like a fictional deal, but I could be wrong about that.
Does it say starring? Starring Terry Grant and Chad Savage Lenz. So those are two different dudes. Chad Savage Lenz. No, that guy doesn't look anything like anybody. I think that's the new one. I think Terry Grant's always been the dude.
Yeah. Terry Grant is man tracker.
He just aged a lot.
I mean, it was on for 6 years. If you're outside tracking people for a long time, I'd understand if that would age somebody.
Yeah, you're going to get old. So anyways, can we get back to NXT now?
I suppose.
Well, I mean, we can talk about Man Tracker more like in a different episode next Thursday. Next Thursday, we'll do a proper update. Or we'll see if this is...
I'll say this. I got the trailer playing here.
Yeah.
Young Terry Grant in one shot. All right, I can see a slight resemblance.
Okay, all right.
Slight.
It's like the best looking version of him, huh?
There's one where he turned towards the camera looking real stern. I'm like, all right, I could see that.
Okay, all right.
I could see it slightly.
Okay.
This is very 2005.
Yeah. So anyways, JC comes out, talks shit, says, she says, you and Blake Monroe seem to be cut from the same cloth, always thinking they can come and everybody's going to bow at their feet. And Jordan says, shut up. And so, and then like a fight breaks out. Blake Monroe shows up. She makes the save. Her and Jordan clear the ring. Ava comes out, says, listen, Blake and Jordan at the bash, you're going to be taking on Fallon and JC. And then JC and Fallon run back to the ring, and then Blake and Jordan once again take them out.
Yep.
So
speaking of trying to take somebody out, Wes Lee was trying to take out Joe Hendry for Trick Williams.
He's man-tracking Joe Hendry.
In advance of the match at, it's not bound for Slammiversary.
So Slammiversary is now a triple threat.
Yeah, with Santana.
Yeah. I don't know how that happened.
I don't know either. So anyways, Trick opens the show, takes a seat at commentary, watches this match. Hendry gets the win after ducking an enziguri from Wes Lee. Santana comes out and keeps High Rise from interfering. And then Joe hits a standing ovation for the win. Later on, Joe and Santana have an interview backstage. Hendry's like, thanks for helping tonight. We're going to throw hands in a couple of weeks, but at least we're united in defending TNA from Trick and High Rise. And Kelly asks them, or tells them they're teaming up next week against High Rise. And Hendry says they both want to bring the TNA title back to TNA. Santana says, I'm going to be the one that does it. It brings the title back where it belongs.
That's right. And then we have, let me ask you something. You think they're doing the Slammiversary thing? Like, to protect Trick?
Yeah.
Joe Hendry pins Santana.
Probably.
And then we have Obafemi's next opponent revealed. It's Inamura. Obafemi has an interview. He's asked about Inamura versus Jasper Troy because it's the number one contenders match. And he was like, I could see why the NXT universe is warm to Inamura. And then Inamura steps up. And he's like, tonight I'm going to show you grit and tenacity. And then Oba looks over at Briggs, who's standing there. He says, make sure this dude's ready because I'll be seeing the winner very soon. And then Inamura says, you're not going to be waiting very long. And then we had like also a Jasper Troy promo. Mm-hmm. He says, everybody fears Oba. He's dominant, but did he look that way in the ring against me? It's like, well, kind of, because he beat you. He says, I'm going to go through Inamura and I'm going to beat Oba. That's my density. I mean, my destiny. So backstage, Briggs hypes up Inamura. Inamura hits a couple body slams and a top rope splash for the win. Good match. So yeah, Inamura is going to get annihilated by Obafemi.
Yeah.
He shouldn't even put up a good fight, to be honest with you. Oba needs to like establish dominance again.
So apparently Ricky Saints, to get maybe another shot at Ethan Page in North American title, he's got to run the Vanity Project Gauntlet. So
this should be easy work for Ricky Saints.
It should be. So we got Ricky, we got Ethan Page, we got Vanity Project all in Ava's office. Ava's like, we got to have a civil discussion. And Ricky's like, there's nothing civil about what's going on. And Ethan says, Vanity Project is here to protect you, Ricky, in case you step out of line and I have to send you back to the hospital. And Page says, I'll be dictating everything about my North American title reign on my terms. I'm a fighting champion. I'm in a fantastic mood. So, Ricky, you can earn a title shot if you run the Vanity Project Gauntlet. And Ricky says, I don't mind playing your games, Ethan, because when I run the gauntlet, I'm going to dictate the stipulation for our match.
Yeah.
It's like, sounds good.
Everything sounds good, everybody. So Luca, the lawyer, the consigliere, comes to the ring for a promo. Says, I want to put this all to rest. Tony, come down here. Tony comes down. He's like, oh, how the tables have turned. He says, Luca's not out to get me, but you screwed me last week. He said, they argue a little bit. Lucas says, loyal is me leaving college early for and turning down jobs at top law firms. It's like the Ann Fong law firm out here. Turned down that one. Maybe Morgan. Why wonder if you turn down Morgan & Morgan? He says, I turn down all sorts of opportunities for a shot at WWE. He says, I've never doubted Tony, and that's loyalty. And then Stax shows up, and he was like, hey, I wouldn't be standing here, Heritage Cup champ without you. And then Luke is like, shut up, Stax. This is between me and Tony. Tony's like, yeah, that's right. This is my consigliere. And then Luke is like, fuck you. And he punches him. Stax comes to the ring, and he puts his arm around Luke. He's like, yeah, that's my consigliere. And then Luke punches him. And he picks up the mic, and he says, I'm my own consigliere. Yeah. I'm the consigliere.
And everybody's like, can you be your own consigliere?
They're like, what? That doesn't make any sense. You turn down top law firms to be your own consigliere?
He turned down law firms to be his own lawyer.
Yeah. I guess he's just starting his own firm.
I guess so. Thea Hale taking L's. She lost to Laney Reed with the running knee, but then Laney had to hold on to the middle rope to get extra leverage on that pin.
Laney's a cheater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of surprised Thea lost here.
Yeah, I know.
It's weird.
So then we have something from last week after NXT ended where Izzy confronts Sol and Zarya about taking Tatum from ringside during their match. And then Izzy says, I may have lost the match, but I feel like I've gained a friend.
Oh, manipulative.
And Zarya says, well, Tatum, if you want to, be Izzy's friend, fine. Mm-hmm. That all sets up a tag match. Sol and Zarya versus Izzy and Tatum. So Izzy's about to get hit with the spear from Zarya, but then Tatum pushes Izzy out of the way, so Sol Ruka eats it. And then Tatum low bridges Zarya out of the ring, kicks her to the floor. Izzy hits Sol Ruka with a sky high to get the W, and then the culling later on celebrating backstage with Tatum. Ava walks in, says, congratulations on the win. Izzy, you get to face Sol Ruka at Bash for the North American title to pin the champion.
Yep.
And Izzy says, I couldn't have done it without you, Tatum. But then that's when Hank and Tank
honk
roll in, accuse the culling of attacking them. And Tatum says, I know my new friends wouldn't have done that. So if you're so confident about your accusations, put the titles on the line. Hank and Tank say, honk, we agree.
Honk.
So then Lexus King has a match against Miles Bourne set up last week. He had, I don't remember their names, but Florida Gators.
Mm-hmm.
We're sitting ringside. Bourne gets the win after he escapes a coronation, hits a drop kick, and zigzag used for his finisher here. Tavion Heights getting another opportunity to leave NQCC because we see him backstage. Ren was saying, oh, Tavion, you were so close to winning last week. And Dempsey just says, that loss just proves you need more time in the NQCC. And then Tavion, he gets angry. He says, I want a match against you, Charlie. If I win, I'm out. Dempsey says, all right, if that match happens, and when I win, this conversation isn't happening again.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This whole program here, it's going to make it really hard for Charlie Dempsey to get any future members of the NQCC.
He's really not making a good case for himself, unless he were to go to Evolve and say, hey, guys, the only way you're going to make it up to NXT is through the NQCC. I'm going to make sure that everybody here gets buried unless you agree to join. So he can go to the Evolve and start signing up people for management deals because they're probably making like, $15 an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's a good path for him.
So we had a Dark State promo, which started with Cutler James.
They got him out of the way first. Yeah. They got Cutler James out of the way. A little pep in his step, maybe, I don't want to make anybody feel bad. I felt bad last week about talking so much shit. But yeah, there he is, Cutler James, his replacement.
Did you now? You felt bad about it, huh?
I did. Can you give me like your version of the Dark State promo from the parking lot?
What'd they say?
Things happen in NXT.
Cutler James sees when things happen in NXT, and they only happen because Cutler James allows it. So if we catch people lacking, we're going to show up any place, anytime.
Very good. Very good. Very dangerous. Very dangerous.
Cutler James is very dangerous.
He's
like water.
He's a glass half empty guy, isn't he?
Currently, yes.
Oh, man. These dudes, they recorded all this shit. They're just taking like 2 months off.
This is the bulk thing where there's like, hey, cut a few promos.
Yeah, very vague stuff because we don't really know what to do with you next. Saquon, get ready for a solo run.
And then we had Chase U. There's a lecture, and Chase says it might be time to learn some new tricks. He says, tough love is what I know, but if it wasn't for Kale and Uriah, I wouldn't have reopened Chase U. So next week I got you a match. I'm sorry. And then Kale and Uriah accept his apology.
That's going to fall apart quickly.
Yep.
Because none of those dudes ever win.
Nope.
You want to answer some questions?
Yep.
Jesse Helsius says, what's the best type of firework?
Wow.
I mean, honestly, the illegal ones. Whenever we leave my mom's house, we drive by the parking lot where, what was that place? The R Spot?
Mm-hmm.
That parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
Just blasting off the most.
Oh, bottle rockets and stuff like that.
Yeah, just ridiculously illegal.
Of the safe and sane one, if you get the really large ones, here's what you do.
Yeah.
You spend some money, you get a few of the larger ones, and you make like a pyramid.
Yeah.
And light them all.
Okay, yeah.
And so you have, like a short, albeit short, fireworks display that for your street is the equivalent of what they fire off in New York City on the 4th of July.
So, dude, it's
quite a show. It might only last 45 seconds, but wow, what a spectacle.
I'm going to be the Friendo's consigliere here. All right? This is what you do. You get $100. Go down to the stand. You get one of them big packages. Bunch of safe and sane shit. Okay? You don't do what Larson just said. You just light them off one at a time. You know why? Every year, I have to see video of people losing their hands. And I don't want that for any of the friendos.
Obviously not.
All the yokels out here where I live, that's fine. They can do that. But for the friendos out there, don't do that. Just keep it simple. Keep it safe. Do what the instructions say. Use one of those long lighters.
Yeah, you should do that.
Use the long lighter.
Yeah, I always do that.
Get back. If it fizzles out, just spray a bunch of water on it because you don't want to go up there and be like, hey, what happened to this? Boom. Okay? So be safe, be sane. I don't want anybody losing any fingers because that happens every year. I go to the bar and I'm like, let's see it. And then my bartender friend there is like, loads up. This guy lost his hand.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
It is horrible.
I don't want that for any of the friendos.
Why don't they market the safe and sane fireworks as safe and sane anymore? I don't see that anymore.
Well, that ain't fun.
I know.
You need a little bit of danger.
That's why I'm like, I stack like 4 on top of each other.
Stacks.
I do. But I'm always very safe about it. But you're right. Be safe.
I just don't want, like, if one of my neighbors, one of your neighbors, I don't care if they lose their hand. I have to see it every year.
Well, you don't have to.
But I don't want the friendos to lose their hands.
You don't have to see anything.
Yeah, I do. I got to go there, and I'm like, let me see.
No, but you don't have to go there. You don't have to see anything.
Bro, this is actually legitimately sad. There was a 17-year-old baseball prospect.
I know. I've heard the story.
That was fucked.
I know
Like,
the story.
what? You're a baseball pro. Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Was that with the legal stuff though?
I don't know.
I don't remember either.
Let's see here.
Be safe, everybody.
Yeah, be safe. But if you can find a safe way to stack them, I guess stack them.
Yeah, that's what I do. I find a safe way to stack them. And if one of them's lit and you could, you get your 10 seconds, whatever, and you haven't lit in all of them, you just walk away.
Yeah, just walk away.
Yeah, hope that the one on top lights the one underneath of it.
You see that big explosion nearby? Or not nearby, It was like in YOLO.
Yeah. It's not that far from here.
I know. Let's see here.
We got Alex Foster here says, considering how often it happens, how much longer until Cutler James turns you guys around becomes a favorite? In a way, he already has, because I think Cutler James is already a favorite.
Yeah, without Cutler James, there'd be no Cutler James.
So,
Joe the Meme Maker says, what top guy or former world champion could just by their presence elevate a terrible faction? And whom? A top guy or former world champion by their presence could elevate a terrible faction. What's a terrible faction right now?
I mean, they're not a terrible faction, but they don't really do anything like, say, with LFI. They're job guys.
Oh, God, yeah. How about this? I think Trick Williams could elevate Dark State. Actually, Javon Evans. I want to see Javon Evans in Dark State.
It really was a missed opportunity not having one of them.
I know.
Be the leader of Dark State.
I agree.
Because it's like, another group coming in trying to make an impact at the beginning and then just kind of drop way down on the card.
What was Cody's group called in AEW? Nightmare Family?
Yeah.
Yeah. They needed somebody else.
Other than Cody?
Cody in AEW is not it. That guy very quickly he was like, this seemed cool.
Yeah. Martin Coven says, another 90s music question. Do you have a favorite one-hit wonder from the 90s?
Well, yeah, Radiohead. Creep was their one hit.
Yeah, I know.
Did they chart after that?
They may have.
They had great success. All right, but an actual one-hit wonder?
Yeah.
Screaming Trees.
Nearly lost you, huh?
I nearly lost you there. Hell yeah, Mark Lanigan.
What about Veruca Salt's Seether?
Oh, they had a couple good songs, though.
They did have a couple good songs.
Yeah.
That's like the only one I think that ever...
No, the other one I think did better,
Volcano Girls?
Volcano really Girls did well. Yeah,
that's a really good song, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Veruca Salt.
How about this one? Meat Puppets. Backwater.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to listen to that song. I don't know if I know it.
I think I got some play on MTV, especially after they were on Nirvana Unplugged.
Yeah, right. 90s one-hit wonders. Let me take a look here.
That's like New Radicals. Probably.
Let's see here. Nope. Oh, wow. So was Mark Morrison's Return to the Mac the only hit that he had?
Oh, really?
I mean, I don't know any of his other songs.
That's such a good song.
It's a great song.
It's really good.
How about the New Radicals?
No.
Not so much.
I can't stand that song.
I can't stand that song either. It is though. I will tell you this: if it's on the radio or TV, I'll watch it in like a hate watch way. Like, this is so bad, I can't turn it off.
This is one of those songs that actively makes me angry, so I can't even do that.
Okay, yeah.
Actively.
Yeah. That guy was a hell of a he made a shit ton of money producing other people, though.
Oh yeah.
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 Art Guy says, who are the four horsewomen of AEW? He says Tony, Mercedes, Stat, and Willow.
What is going on the screen behind you? It's like Andrade's Tron with a robot, but the robot's yeeting. Yeah, I just did that.
I know, I saw. So here's what's going on back there. This is the end of the show, so nobody's been paying attention. I always load up YouTube, and I always have like a color bar video.
Yeah.
Just to have something back there.
Yeah.
Light, right? Today I loaded up YouTube, and for whatever reason, like it always pops up back in my recommendations because I use it every day, multiple times sometimes. And it didn't pop in my recommendeds. But I also have like these lo-fi beat channels that, and I'm sorry, I know it's bad, but they use like sort of AI shit just as like visuals, you know?
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, whatever. It's like slow moving graphics. I just pop that on. I mute it just so there's something back there. So usually like 9 times out of 10, you look back there and it's just like, you know, some amorphous imagery. But then, yeah, I did notice that they have like the yeeting robot.
Yeeting robots.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Mr. Sinister here says, I think I interrupted you mid-question, but I'm going to go anyways.
No, it's okay. I agree with this person. Tony, Mercedes, Stat, Willow. Yeah, they're the 4 horsewomen of AEW.
Yeah. Mr. Sinister says, I saw a TikTok saying that if Cena does retire with the title in December, then in January a new title champion could be crowned at the Rumble. What are the odds of that? Minimal.
I don't
Cena's
see that
losing
happening.
to Cody at SummerSlam.
I don't see that happening, but how cool would that be? That'd be
cool.
really neat if they did that. I'd be down with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be cool. That's all the questions I have over here. Do one more.
Andre Zimpel asked, this is a tough one. What would you say is the most avant-garde movie of all time?
Oh, I don't know. I remember, you know, my grandparents, my grandparents got me a videotape once. And because they knew that I was interested in a film. And I was like, this was actually the coolest present I ever got for them. They weren't really good at presents, though. Like, my grandpa would always get me, like, a flashlight that's also a radio. Mm-hmm. You know, it was always something like that. It was like a radio mixed with a thing, you know?
Useful, yeah.
But, like, they got me this... It was a videotape of, like, some French avant-garde movies. But, like... really like obscure ones that I had never heard of before.
Not like La Chienne Andalou.
Right. Yeah. No, it was, dude, I don't even know if I would recognize the name at this point, but I thought that was like the coolest thing.
Yeah. That's pretty neat.
For them to do that. Cause they weren't into like that kind of stuff, but they saw that and they thought of me. I was like, hey, you know what? That's actually really, really cool. Yeah. I have no idea who it is, but there was some weird shit on there, but I am nowhere close enough to being schooled in the avant-garde.
What is the most avant-garde movie ever released by a major studio?
Dude, I don't know. Major releases, avant-garde. Like, you could slice a bunch of the story out of 2001. And that could be
a ton of story there.
Yeah, well, I know exactly. Like, if you take anything involving dialogue out of 2001, and that'd be considered avant-garde.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I don't know. Major studio movie releases avant-garde.
Like, especially like in the 70s, there's got to be some crazy stuff that was put out there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, they were doing all sorts of shit back then. That's funny. None of these are avant-garde movies. It says avant-garde films, and it's a playlist on IMDb, and it's like Punch Drunk Love, Videodrome, The Rocky Horror Picture Show. Oh, I don't know. Maybe fuck. What was David Lynch's first one?
Oh, Eraserhead.
Eraserhead. Yeah, I mean, in terms of like a popular, I mean, I could consider that avant-garde.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Without
you know.
doubt.
Who released this? Distributed by Libra Films. They closed in 1990. They released John Woo's The Killer here in America. So yeah, I don't know. I'll go with as my answer, Eraserhead.
Sure.
Pretty much. I don't know, the entire catalog of David Lynch stuff.
Yeah.
Minus
Because
maybe
after that, a
Dune.
lot of his movies were studio.
Yeah.
pictures, so.
Yeah. Like Mulholland Drive.
Lost Highway.
Lost Highway. Yeah, that's a crazy film. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate it. Till next time. See you guys around.
Goodbye.